in God's name is going on in here? What was that ruckus?
What ruckus?
I was just in my office and I heard a ruckus.
Could you describe the ruckus, sir?
Okay, here's what I would have done. Bro, no one cares what you would have done. Actually, everyone cares. Welcome to Let Me Book the Territory, the podcast made for smart marks and nostalgia nerds. Brought to you by the Embrace the Turn Up Podcast Network. And now your hosts, A-Dub,
BA,
E-Ray,
Well, I think it's that time, guys. I don't know if y'all ready. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? It sounds like you're ready for
ready.
The greatest wrestling podcast of all time. It is I, E-Ray, the quasi bad guy, the Diet Coke of evil, the man of 7/8 teeth, Senior Splody in the bank, and this is Let Me Book the Territory. As always, I am joined by the most significant gentleman as we together form what is known as Voltron. Oh, no, sorry. Wrong show. The fellas. It is, of course, the guy that has never passed aisle 9 in the CVS that he does not like. He is looking for the 2-for-1 sale on antacids, and he is the most constipated man.
It's the dump show. Quick one today, ladies and gentlemen. Dobson Reed in the motherfucking building. Back, money in the bank. Checks have been cashed. I'm excited to be here. Excited to be here with the fellas, guys. Get hyped up. We are officially 1 month away from being in my backyard at SummerSlam.
I was like, we're going to Dub's backyard. We just leaving. Hey, go pick that dog shit up, Dub. Have some respect.
Exactly.
Gosh. Yes, we're a month away. It is happening. It is fastly approaching. But with that said, as we have all the excitement that you have ever seen, we got white trash nigga Shay in the building. My guy sporting the luxurious Binge Flicks and Chill tee. You can find that on inaudibleruckus.com/binge flick and chill. Support the guy. It is the guy who created headsets, beard chin straps that are Velcro that you can pull off, put back on while you're at the pool. It is nigga what? Nigga Shay BADBIC. What's going on, Brody?
What's good? Feels good to be back in the saddle, so to speak. It's it's me, all the things. BADBIC, aka
Welcome
Black
back.
IRS. Sing that shit, E-Ray. Sing it. AKA Beef of the East, BA Bigelow in the building. I had to go scout for us next month. I went out to Detroit, had some things I had to handle, had some craps tables, so to speak, that needed to get ran through. And boy, did I run through them. Yeah, your boy Pink got breaded up last week, and then got a lot of legal marijuana. It was a good time, man. Michigan is like baby Vegas. It's right in my backyard. 2 to 3 hours away. You can go act like you're in Vegas for a day and come back to reality with spending a quarter of the money.
Hey.
This is why we love the Midwest part of our country, folks. These are the things that we get in the Midwest.
Baby Vegas.
Like
You got a baby Vegas in Detroit, a baby Miami in Puddin' Bay. Man, what a time.
Definitely this time of the year.
Atlantic City is like the dirtiest of both of them. So, guys, I mean, just like mini Vegas or real Vegas as it is, I hate those places. So, sounds good to me. With that said, the triumvirate, the niggas 3 are back to give you guys the best of the best from the recap of this week. Legendary storylines coming to abrupt conclusions, or not, or just more stuff to talk about. So, of course, is it worth doing anything else but just getting into the shits with Money in the Bank?
Nothing happened on SmackDown that's worth talking about because it led right into the money that was in the bank. That BA runs that bank, and he said the tellers is fine. So E-Ray, we got to go see them tellers. Where you guys want to start there?
I got a few ideas. I think this may have been by far my worst prediction ever. Dub, did you happen to tally up our predictions from last week? Because
before you asked that question, you knew the answer was no.
Okay, because Dub doesn't work, guys.
Dub hates work. Hogan must pose. Roman must hold the belts, and Dub does not work. So there we go.
I should have known. Should have known.
I got 2 jobs. I'm Dub Strasmore now.
I got
put some respect on my
jobs. It's one of those things. We will get to it. So, in some point in this episode, we will have Dub actually give us factuals on that. But
shocker, we all got the men's match wrong.
Yeah, I'm sure we got a lot of shit wrong. This is why I'm getting to, but I don't know. Does that mean this was a good pay-per-view because it wasn't predictable? Let's start there. We had
this pay-per-view.
Two Money in the Banks matches, the men's Money in the Bank, the women's Money in the Bank. I want to actually start with that, and then I have some thoughts. So, BA, your thought. Open up the card with the men's Money in the Bank match and your boy Ricochet.
Oh man,
how'd you feel about the show?
My BA verse fucking counterpart Ricochet to myself as nigga Shay. I was like, why? But then I remember all the flack Trips was getting around, like how he's booking women's matches on these PLEs, and I thought it was a good touch because usually we'd see the women's equivalent of the match leading off of a PLE. So I thought that was a nice touch to be like, hey, women, y'all can be the last ones to have the women's Money in the Bank. The men will set the tone in here and give everybody that fire start. So that was a nice touch, I felt. The biggest surprise to me in the match, my inside the BA verse, Ricochet, he was who I was expecting the least from. As y'all know, y'all been listening to this show the weeks leading up to this episode. BA has been very critical of Ricochet, with all reason. And just as I'm gonna be critical of him on the negative, I'm gonna give him his flowers on the positive. Ricochet did a lot to keep the pace of this match high octane while also doing spots that make sense. Because I feel like a lot of wrestlers can take the high octane and get a little out of control with it, and I thought Ricochet was doing it at perfect times and also keeping people safe as well. There were some spots where I was like, God damn,
Dave Logan for life.
I was like, God damn, that man's neck be broken. So I hope he gives Ricochet a nice Christmas gift this year when they are doing their
Oh yes, his Christmas gift is going to be a punch in the face, because this is a feud that's going to carry to WrestleMania, or excuse me, to SummerSlam. I feel like
hope you're right. That'd
Ricochet
be a great match.
Versus Logan Paul.
Shit,
that'll be a fun opener.
Sign us up. We'll be.
I don't think they get the opener, but I definitely think that that's going to be on the card. Granted, the aftermath we seen on Monday, Ricochet gets jumped, or I guess Logan Paul jumps in his face. And he was talking that shit, and Ricochet like, hold up, nigga, I'm still black. I'll whip your ass. And then they started scrapping. And I was like, all right, well, I was with that.
And then they let Ricochet talk again.
Yeah, and then the black-o-meter was like,
no swag. No swag.
No swag.
It's funny when I think about that, and I'll get to my thoughts on the Money in the Bank match. Remember when they had the whole thing where it was going to be Cedric or Ricochet and Mustafa joining the Hurt Business?
Yes.
For Ricochet's career, it probably should have been Ricochet because Cedric can talk on his own. Like,
I think the Hurt Business would have done Ricochet a lot of good.
So much good.
Yeah.
With the outfits already, he fits in there. He wouldn't have to talk. He just sit there and be kind of badass.
He could just be the light skinned nigga in the crew, man.
Facts.
That's all they was missing. Yeah, there you go.
I don't do the talking.
This
is the most talking I actually do. It's on podcast. And in real life, I get to sit back and just the whole come to me.
E-Ray is a very reserved person in public. I can say that for sure.
And it's intentionally plotted. It's like, I don't want to be the goofy talking about, hey, let me rub my hands together and talk this shit. No, I just sit back, be tall, be light-skinned, and it works. This is a tried and true formula, as Dub loves to mention all the time, sans Wale Mania. But neither here nor there. We are talking about the Money in the Bank match, leading off with the men's. Ricochet, we gave him his flowers. Logan Paul, as usual, very outstanding usage in these spots. I love the crowd, the O2 Arena crowd kept it going all night. They started here.
That was wild.
They let us know who should never touch that. Soon as Logan Paul thought about it, he got jumped. And I was like, yes, if you can't hang, you got to get out the game. And I was like, stomp this nigga out. And they stomped a mud hole in his ass. And then we got all the shenanigans. Honestly, I really was like, this is LA Knight's match to lose, and didn't even realize he does not need it, which is crazy
at all.
That's the biggest thing that match told me.
Yeah, and that was the thing. I think it hit early where I'm watching and I was like, man, that crowd is so supremely behind him. It would be a waste, but I got caught up in emotions. To give you a little bit of insight, and then I'll toss it to Dub. I've been, and I think this particular event solidified Money in the Bank, and I'll get back to that in a second. But I went to Money in the Bank 2021, so the first PLE back from COVID, where they're actually live fans. I was there in Fort Worth.
That when Theory and Liv won?
No. This is when
that was Brock in the Bank, wasn't it? No, Big E.
And the crowd went insane. And to that point, this is why I was like, oh, LA Knight, because I forgot, like, sometimes you get that felt so good. I was like, oh, I want to continue riding this person should win because of that moment being so good.
I want the feels.
Not necessarily the storytelling, which for story purposes, and I think we talked about this on last episode, if I'm not mistaken. LA Knight was here. Like, he should definitely win this. But the next closest person would be Damien Priest.
Yes.
Who actually won the match. And we're like, oh, Damien Priest wins.
Yeah.
I was like, I like it. But I love the tease of LA Knight. It was huge pop. Crowd went insane. And then, of course, afterwards, he gets tossed off and then Damien Priest wins it. And I was like, oh, yeah, we're here now. Because then what does this mean for the rest of the evening? It just puts you on high alert. The Judgment Day has been on fire, just being on TV as like our resident shenanigan crew of all things. And they still have mad matches to go. So I thought the men's Money in the Bank, the right person won, but I was like, damn, I wish Damien Priest did not win. I wish it was LA Knight, but it makes so much more sense. And I think this is a much more interesting route to SummerSlam and beyond with that win. Dub, please give me your thoughts on this men's Money in the Bank before we move on.
I loved this match from start to bottom. Like E-Ray is 100% right. Like LA Knight, it was all feels. It was all feels. Like, because there was no real story to him winning, but the only story for somebody winning was in Damien Priest, and you were like, oh, that makes sense to move the story along. Mm-hmm. And then you look at other guys the Logan Paul angle of it was please God no.
He's a heat magnet. He was there to get that pop.
Yeah,
the whole time.
And he did it well.
Mm-hmm.
Ricochet, like you said, somebody needed to be there to set the pace. You know, because Nakamura wasn't doing it.
Nah.
He's just there to get his check. But he's a guy that's been in the match before, so they need somebody to set the pace.
Mm-hmm.
And then Santos, at this point, I just think Triple H likes Santos as much as we do.
Yeah.
So he's kind of hoping that like he gets that groundswell of support that we all see, so he can find like, hey, all right, put the belt on you right now. We got to do it now.
Yeah, I think they're trying to give him like a similar feel as far as like fan reaction to like when we see Montez Ford in a singles match and like the excitement we get when we see like, oh, maybe this could be it. Like this is his run type shit.
Maybe it's time. But
right.
But I don't think like Santos's run is going to start until he turns on Ray. Which
I
would book that for Mania next year.
Yeah, that's kind of like it's set in stone. Like, and I would put the LWO at a year right then and there. Like kind of when you should retire it. I feel like put it back on the shelf again. Don't let it kind of create a monster from within itself.
Yeah, and then we're back to Legado because as we know, Carlito's coming back. Spoiler alert, everybody, Carlito's coming back.
Right.
And obviously Carlito's going to be in the LWO as we saw in Puerto Rico.
Right.
But this match, one of my all-time favorites.
Not mad
it's up there. It's up there with the one that Brock ruined by Brock winning. Even though we love Brock in the bank, Brock ruined that match by being in it.
And then he just showed. It was unannounced for that match, right? He just showed up. Like just played his music.
Super unannounced.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
He just showed up, and it was like you looked at it and you were like, "Oh, no one's ever been in this match before." Like, we're gonna get a new world champion, and it was like it was all NXT guys that we were all behind, and you're like, "Oh shit, is that Brock?"
Scary shit.
Brock don't show up to lose.
Scary shit. And I will say, because I did listen to you guys last week in my absence, and shout out to my wise man on the BA show, Shine, Mr. Glock Lesnar the Fourth. He brought up Damien Priest in y'all conversation, and I was like, that makes more sense listening to it before the pay-per-view. Because we
wanted the feels.
Yeah. And I wish this is why they make the bucks and we talk about it. It just completely went over my head. Like Priest has had a groundswell of momentum since basically Backlash.
When they mentioned, I mean, and before Backlash, we had got the reports that they were really high on Damien Priest.
Yeah, after Mania last year.
Right, and then even furthermore, we figured, hey, they were going to put this belt on a 40-year-old guy. We just picked the wrong one. So it's okay. Moving along, the women's Money in the Bank match. I will go out and say, first and foremost, I enjoyed this match much better than the men's. Am I alone in that?
I think you might be. I thought it was a good match. But
I like this match, but I didn't like it as much as that men's match.
Okay,
it's a little more gimmicky for me.
Let me tell you why. Let me talk to you. It is clear for the men's match, they had fantastic performers in it. But my thing here, which this is my, or I would say probably the overall sentiment per usual, and specifically with me, AEW versus WWE. You can have a bunch of guys that can do some shit in the match, but I found the women's match far more interesting and compelling because all the storylines were in there. The people in there made sense. So every time these interactions were happening, I was invested. So you got Trish. I'm like, oh shit, is Trish gonna get turned on by Zoe? Oh shit, how are Zoe and Trish gonna handle Becky? Is Io and Bayley going to be able to coexist together, or are they going to work together? And then you seen Becky turn on Io. How is this going to play out? Of course, Zelina Vega just being
I was going to say,
card.
You got Zelina Vega,
just the wild card.
Chancla
action,
just to slap somebody with it.
Chancla action and code red galore. More code reds than a fucking gamer's basement. It was crazy.
That's a bar.
And then it was just again, it was the interactions of all these people together, and then watching what they did with that. Because again, the interest. Hey, Trisha's never been in this type of match, and then Becky is a fantastic performer, and she's like going every chance she gets, she's going after that ass. Pause. And then Zoe Stark going crazy, and they're having this battle dynamic. But then you see, oh snap, maybe Io and Bailey are working together. Then soon as one person goes for it, all hell breaks loose. So to me, and I mean, again, to each his own, but I just found this match far more compelling, and I was more interested. And then the ending was really dope to me. I thought that was a superior ending of that match, where it's like, oh shit, the Zoe handcuff that she started on Becky, because I was like, oh shit, well Becky ain't gonna win, but then she breaks out of it, beating ass, wholesale ass, and then as she's about to like stop Bailey, Io locks him up, and climbs over a bitch and grabs the briefcase. I was very ecstatic. I thought this, again, to me, better than the men's match because of that. I thought the men's match was more gimmicky with just flippy shit and cool stuff, cool spots. But it was like, I come to realize this about myself. I enjoy both Royal Rumbles and Money in the Bank matches when there are shit
story involved.
Yeah, throw elimination chambers in that bitch as well. Fine. Tell all the things. Anytime they have ultimate, like, conflicting, intersecting shit going on, I'm in, and it makes me buy in more. So that's what got me. But I'm curious to hear you guys' opposing opinions. BA, tell me why you hate women.
Oh my god! I'm gonna let Dub talk while E-Ray sits on the.
No, BA, you got it because you picked this
dastardly
you
accusation.
Picked this match right, so you got it. You
yeah,
got it.
that should show you I love women first and foremost. I predict,
especially Asian women.
We're not gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about Io Sky, the genius of the sky. That's what we're gonna talk about. Not anything that Mr. Streets is trying to put in my mouth. Pause.
Whoa. Hey, yo. That might be my new AKA, the genius of the pie. Continue. Sorry. Just thinking out loud here.
All right, back on track. Your take, I mean, it's not a bad take. It's your take, right? It's not bad. I get why you feel that way. But the reason why it didn't resonate to be better to me than the Miz match was just strictly just women. Gotcha. You are worse than the IWC.
Women.
Right. I feel like the IWC just walked into the whole podcast right now.
You must hate women. Every woman.
Right. It's only me. Yeah, they y'all fucking idiot. The fact that the way it ended, like, it was very well put spots, like with the handcuff early on when Zoe pulled it out and Becky's just wrestling with this one handcuff on, and then you forget about it, and then all of a sudden she's about to go after the briefcase. She's battling with Bailey. Bailey already got heat earlier in the match with Io by like throwing her off the ladder. She's like, what the fuck? I thought we was homies, but we ain't homies. I understand.
But then we is homies again.
Right, right.
How could you not love that shit? That it's so much story to it's everything.
I'll say this. It was very, very sports entertaining. But the match that just popped me more, and they both popped me. I'm not saying that this was like a lesser than, like a terrible Money in the Bank, because Lord knows I've seen some awful ones. Listen to BA's show where I review the OG one. But yes, as far as E-Ray said, these are, and these, for me personally, these are not my favorite match to watch because of the suspension for disbelief. For me is a lot tougher unless it's performed to make me believe it. Like, for example,
on that, I need a little bit more.
I'll speak to it. If y'all listen to the not the most recent episode for the BA show, but the last one where I reviewed the 2010 Money in the Bank, the Money in the Bank match for the Raw brand on that card, It was so good to me because all the spots were believable. They were doing things in the match that made me believe, like, oh man, it must be really hard to get that fucking briefcase. There's a point in the match even where Jericho is like trying to grab it. He's like on the ladder, but the way the ladder is, it's like just out of reach, and everybody's been on the ladder that you've been trying to reach some shit. And you like, I'm not getting down to fucking readjust it. I'm gonna grab this shit. That type of stuff is what I mean. And both of these matches did a good job of that. Traditionally, however, most ladder and Money in the Bank matches, you're sitting there screaming like, bruh, just fucking walk up the ladder and get it and be done with this.
Or you're 8 feet tall. Just raise your hand. You don't have to go to the top.
Do you know how to unscrew a convener? Like, what are you doing?
Thank you. That's where it can be. That's where it becomes too gimmicky for me. But if we can do it in a way in which it all makes sense, like both of these matches did on this card, this past weekend, fuck yeah, sign me up. But just me personally, men's match popped me more just because I think this the more high spots, and it made sense. It wasn't like I was watching, no disrespect, AEW fans, like an AEW high spot match.
No disrespect, but all disrespect.
Right.
A-Dub.
Respectfully, disrespectfully.
I know you just may have slid in a racial slur on accident. But with that said, what was...
I think it has something to do with
No. Tell me about the women's Money in the Bank match. We don't go backwards. We only go forward. Pause or fast forward. There's no rewind.
All right.
I hear
that. All right. Well, apologies as always to all peoples that I've offended.
Right, exactly. Half-assed 2023 apology. Thank you, Dub. Continue.
My apologies to everyone.
So, E-Ray, I like this match for all the same reasons you did, of the different storylines going into it, and I love the ending. Like, EO's the one, and they got something money with her. But the reason I think I like the men's more is because, like, I had a dog going into this fight. I didn't have a dog in the women's match. I guess that's a bad term, but anyways.
Because a female dog. I see where you're going, Dub. Man.
We're
canceled. It's okay, guys.
I'll just keep digging this hole here. So like in the men's match, like I had a dog going into the fight with LA Knight, and then like I also had a guy whose story and whose rise was getting like really interesting, and I'm like, oh shit, yeah, I kind of wouldn't mind that happening either in Damien Priest. And then also had a guy where I'm like, this is my worst nightmare, this person winning it. I didn't have any of that in this women's match. Don't get me wrong, you had better stories in this women's match, but I didn't have anything that I was like rooting for, rooting against.
You had a polars that I think that's okay.
Yeah, that's why I like the men's match.
I can understand that.
It popped me more. Pause.
Yeah. You hear that? That's me getting the keys for the penalty box, Dub. You hear that? I think Dub's about to open the penalty box this episode.
Well,
son. I mean, it might be time.
It's been a while.
I'll say, I did enjoy them both, and I did choose incorrectly both Money in the Bank matches. Even though EO was right there, it made so much sense when I seen it, much like Damien Priest. But I was just like, man, that would be great for Trish or Zoe or pretty much. It was so many other things that just popped in my mind. But either way, I did actually love both people who won. Are we in agreement there that regardless of our choices, we love the actual outcome?
Oh yeah, absolutely 100%. Agree. And furthermore, I'm going to add, I think this match, as we continue this podcast and it keeps going and going until the wheels fall off, which they never fucking will. We should have a exactly, man. For 500,000 miles. We should have like a 10 wrestling commandments, right? Like, 10 crack commandments. We should have a 10 wrestling commandments. And the first one should be any Money in the Bank match. Who's been low key coming up? Not the obvious choice like we thought about in the men's match. Because I think we all got swept into the LA Knight fucking tornado, which is a very heavy LA Knight pod. Since he was in NXT, we've been talking about him on this show. So I think we got to say, thou shalt not book the obvious choice for Money in the Bank. I think that should be one of the 10 wrestling commandments as we draw them up on this show. We all got hooked to a certain degree, one way or the other. And then after the fact, we realized like, oh shit, EO has been getting kind of the rub. Her and Asuka at some point makes so much sense. and then Priest on the low just coming up, and the tea leaves from the Triple H reports of who he likes and all that kind of stuff, who they're kind of trying to build on. Yeah, thou shalt not book the obvious choice in the Money in the Bank pay-per-view match.
Fair enough. I would like to move on to more so. Should we go to the next match, or I guess the holders of the Money in the Bank? I'm open to either.
Holders.
The people who
who's holding the briefcases?
Yes. So what you do?
I mean,
you hold it.
Like, but after you go to the holders, like you start talking about Raw, but there was more that happened on this card that we can talk about. Can we talk about this women tag match and the aftermath of that?
That's surprise of the night.
So
who booked that shit?
Do y'all want to open it, or do you want me to go? So I got thoughts.
Oh, E-Ray, go ahead.
Go for it.
You hate women so much. Go ahead. You got it.
I don't hate all women. I'm not a
but
not
there's
one of those
one.
people. Yeah.
Is this becoming a no man podcast? Like, shout out to Married with Children?
No, not at all. I'm a big fan of the ladies. One in particular, I am not, even though I gave her so much bail last pod. Yeah.
I think she paid you back on that bail, though.
I hated this match. I hated it a lot.
Oh, it's weird.
Only
weird match.
because, okay, so let me go to. There was Liv Morgan and Big Back Pose, Raquel Rodriguez versus Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey for the undisputed women's tag title. I don't know what the hell that should call, but that belt, the tag belts, right? Number one, I guess Raquel and them never lost it, so they automatically got this rematch after burying all the talent. Where I'm like, okay, clearly Shayna and Ronda can't lose because they just buried all the talent to make these belts matter, right? No. They lost, and in the fashion that they lost, it was like there was no rhyme, no reason behind it. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? It just was like, hey, we're about to win this. That's like, hey, me and BA playing fucking hoop it up 2-on-2, and BA got the open lane dunk, and I just go fucking Tanya Hardin on his kneecaps and kill. Why? We're about to win. There's no reason for this. Like, there was no sign of animosity. I get and we're going to talk about Raw, but just that alone was like, y'all did that for this. That just made me mad about the actual shit. Because maybe if they would have left the if they wouldn't have had Raquel and Liv in it currently, and they would have kept Elbow Fire and Isla Dawn, and they had their belt still, and then we got this match at Money in the Bank, like I was saying, it would have made more sense, because then you have those two characters that are like negative and evil, and of course, because Isla Dawn is Bluetooth compatible and shit. Maybe she got into Shayna Baszler's mind, start talking to her, start doing some witchy shit.
I hope that's something we're getting.
That would have been great.
Awesome.
That's never happening, because it was a completely different. But again, this is what could have been. So for them, with Liv on the ground, injured, and Ronda about to rip her arm off, and Shayna just fucking blindside paintbrush her ass and then kill her, and then I was like, that was weird. And even though we hate Ronda, it was still didn't make sense. But not only that, when they won, Liv and Raquel are celebrating like they just dominated and they're the faces. Like, clearly you only won because Shayna went fucking berserk. But I don't get it. It was really bad. Contextually, there's been talk that Ronda gave the WWE a hard line and a hard date of when she would no longer be involved in WWE. And with that said, with this hard date, the job was to get those belts off of them and have her and her and Shayna to have a match at SummerSlam and her give Shayna the rub. So with that extra added context, I still hate the match. I just understand it per se.
That's fair. I mean, I feel like they also found that out very sudden to this match, like a day or two before. I feel like they were in London when they found this news out type shit.
But accordingly, no, she's from what was reported, she had been told them, hey, you only got me for this many more matches, or you got me for this amount of time. And they had a hard deadline. That's probably why she wanted those belts. But again, all speculation. It's just I don't know. You know, the E is going to E.
And it sounds like the Ronda's gonna not work for her, brother, because that's some Hulk Hogan politics shit. If I ain't never heard it,
I mean, maybe, but as long as she's giving Shayna the rub that she needs and deserves, which played out on Monday,
like it's like 2 years.
All
too
is
late,
good,
though, man. I feel like this rub is 2 years too late.
I disagree 1,000%. But sorry,
what she's trying to do. Like, I mean, it's never too late to get Ronda Rousey off our teams.
That's what I'm saying.
But
you can't lose.
I mean it from like a maximization of the rub standpoint. You go over on Ronda before she goes and has his kid. That's when that matters more, in my opinion. If you want to hook your homie up out the door, giving her kind of like call it what it is, a meaningless match at SummerSlam, just to say, hey, I'm going out on my back. Isn't this what you're supposed to do?
Hey,
pause.
you.
Duh. Do you agree with BA? Because I don't want to. I have to. I got thoughts.
Yeah,
but this ain't the E-Ray show. Okay.
So well, first of all, I need you guys to check your phones real quick because I just sent you something. Secondly,
is it money or Phil? Oh.
NSFW.
Secondly, I don't think this rub is a little too late, but
no.
I had an issue. I'm like, y'all took the belts off of Isla Dawn to give us this bullshit?
That's
to put the belts back on Liv and Raquel.
That's the Hulk Hogan
when you
bullshit.
Have plans for Raquel to go do a singles run. Like, it just doesn't make sense. But here's the thing, though. Shit. All that shit being said, the moment Shayna hit Ronda, I felt one tear roll down my eye. I was so fucking happy. I was like, thank you so much. Somebody's listening to me. My prayers have been answered. I ain't been that happy since I got a PlayStation for Christmas. Boy.
Damn.
Definitely played a video game since like 98. So that's some happiness, boy.
Let me tell you, man, I ain't been this happy since I first saw the square titties on Tomb Raider on Christmas morning. Oh, that was a moment. That was a moment. Since the first time I hit the X button and Crash Bandicoot hit that fucking thing and said booga booga. Boy, this was a moment. But yeah, they took the belts off of that woman for that moment.
I thought Doug was about to put over Dead or Alive video games, but if you know, you know. Anyways.
I was such a mark for those games.
I was
always
on.
I was like, what is I think that made everyone jump a couple years ahead in puberty before they even knew what was happening. I thought I was playing a fighting game. I'm here for other things now. Anyways, E-Ray.
I'm playing a different game, brother.
Aren't we all? E-Ray.
Your
points.
She can jump pretty high. I keep hitting the X button. Her aerial moves are great.
Got your renegade row.
Anywho, all right, BA. I think this is ISO is this E-Ray on BA time right now. Pause.
Let's go. Or
1-on-1.
Let's go. I mean, before you go, I want to say Dub made my point about the Hulk Hogan shit. It's why do you need to put over up and coming or bury up and coming talent with these belts for what? What is the point of you? Why do you need to hold these tag team titles, Hulk? That's what I don't agree with.
I'm not talking nothing about Isla Dawn's talent. Did you see that picture?
Bruh, and that is talent. Let's be completely concise. That doesn't just happen. So first and foremost, I don't understand it. Help me understand, brother. Because
do I get free samples at this swirl stand? You guys going crazy right now.
This ain't basket rhyme. Let's go.
We only got one flavor here.
I'm a fan of Isla Dawn's ring work. Huge fan. And her Bluetooth connectivity.
Right.
All I'm gonna say is, I get it, Booker. I get it, Book. Uncle Book, no judgment here. No judgment here, Uncle Book.
That's why he was wearing a tank
That's
on
why he
Tuesday.
acted
He
totally
thought
different
Isla Dawn
out
was
there.
strong.
Like Booker, that's like if I
don't know what
start
to
showing
do
up to
without
work
her.
in tank tops. I'm wearing suits to work every day. I just show up tomorrow like shit. This
don't know
Peloton
what to do
workout
without
got me
that
feeling
woman.
good. No.
Oh man, how you doing today, Jade?
Cargo.
Right.
But with that said, all right, ISO. BA, you're not wrong about or at least I don't feel that's not the point I'm debating with the Hulk Hogan shit per se. What I do disagree with is it being too late. Number one, I think you got it right. There's never too late when you have such go away heat as Ronda has. Number two,
Facts. I can't disagree.
Number two, a meaningless match in SummerSlam, completely disagree because and as it stands, it could end up being a meaningless match. But I think right now we're in the sweet spot where it is nothing but promise because if they have a shoot fight with them both being able to like really throw and go and and
give
do
me
that.
Ken Shamrock versus Owen Hart in that random ass cage they never used but one time in '98.
I
NXT fight pit. Give me
I
the
was about
fight
to say
pit.
I don't necessarily need a fight pit,
I want
but
that cage. The Lions did.
just the fact that they can have this type of style match, because that's essentially what we've been saying. Hey, this is why we hate Ronda, because her style she's too fast and she can't slow it down to like make it look a certain way. It's kind of like when you have that when you buy a brand new TV. I know some people we're gonna lose them right here, but it's okay. You and your old ass like bunny ear TV.
E-Ray called people broke without calling them broke.
You're broke, nigga. You're broke. But for everybody else who know, there's the smoothing function where if you're running at like 60 frames per second or some shit, and you have auto smoothing on technology of that TV, it makes everything look like the real world, like reality TV. It's like, ew. And you want to take it off, so it slows it down, but by slowing the frame rate down, the auto smoothing, it actually makes it look more cinematic and better. This is the same thing with wrestling. When you do a bunch of fast shit, it doesn't give it time to breathe. So you can't really like soak in the ooh, ah, yeah, which is going to be a masterclass in that once we get towards the end of the card. But back to Ronda and Shayna. From what we seen, having us possibly get that shoot fight with Ronda being sent home by Shayna and Shayna going no holds bar and cutting her to death with new music, the best promo she's ever cut. And y'all know I am not a Shayna Baszler fan, but today I'm one of the Baszler boys. It's on now. So
Baszler boys.
It's I'm telling you, meaningless, I don't think so. And we'll be there to see it in person. So if I'm wrong, then I'll be able to rectify that with a nice cold beer.
Yeah,
right then and
we'll
there.
put a drink on it. We'll put a drink on
Facts.
it. That's a fair. We'll end this Skip and Shannon session with a beer, nice friendly bet. Skip. Freak my black and mild Skip. Yeah, they and dog. Yeah, I agree. And then you made and in closing on my, so we can keep it pushing, you made some good points there I did not take into consideration. I'm burying this match a month before it takes place. So I will let it breathe, because if that does happen, E-Ray, I'll eat my words, bro. I'll buy you 2 drinks, brother. If that does happen, I'll be that happy. I'll be that happy that I saw a formidable Ronda Rousey match and I ain't gotta see her again. Yeah, I'll buy a double drink too. Fuck it, just because he's
Speaking of drinks, BA. Speaking of drinks, I have tallied up the scores.
Oh no!
And shout out to Sean. Sean got 5 matches right on this card.
The man, that's why he's my wise man. I don't say that. I don't just say that.
He is a wise man.
He gets
BA, you came in second at 4.
Yes,
so
I don't have to drink.
Yeah,
Not
very
messing up my
very
workout.
nice showing for not even
I
coming to
already
work
know
that day.
where this is.
You right to the bar.
Somehow I got 3. Starting off the card pretty bad, but I got 3. Mr. E-Ray, I hope you got a bottle near you, brother. You got
But I'll
2.
rectify it. I know. I knew this. Well, I'm like, I was so wrong on everything. Like, this is a rarity. Maybe I was just in my feels. I don't know, but I was wrong. I was wrong. I gotta get on my knees and apologize like a R&B video.
Right.
And the 2 you got were the most obvious ones on the card.
Damn, you didn't have to cut me down like that, though. Shit. And then, nigga,
Right,
what you
exactly.
did? Fuck
Well,
out of
the
here.
funny part, the kicker is, had you just picked somebody in the world title match, you might have been okay.
I did. You wrote
no
down no
finish.
contest.
You said no finish.
No.
You
Well,
said
what does
no
that mean?
finish.
Do we have a
He's-
tie?
If you would run it back, I'm telling you, run it back. He just said, so I'm gonna put you down for no finish. But that's okay. Neither here nor there.
That's what I did
'Cause
collect
I'll
on my
take-
listen back.
Cause I'll take Dub with me and we can both go. We go shoot it up. Cause I promise you. But I was like, you know what? I let it ride. Anywho, moving right along. Riddle versus Gunther.
You know what I love about Gunther?
And pass.
Is that he does not finish matches the same way. Like
Love it.
that old wrestling style of, you're not going to see my finisher all the time. And I got 5 of them. What you are going to see is me just finish matches a different way. Am I going
I love
to
it.
just slap the
Hey.
shit out of this nigga's hurt ankle and then put him in a fucking knee bar?
He
Yeah.
spanked this man's ankle. That shit was crazy. I was like, oh my gosh. I feel it immediately made me start thinking about his life at home. And I was like, man, this guy's crazy. He's a wild card. He
Newly
acting
married
like
man, just
I
married.
was like, he acting like he's still
Man.
out in the streets. He was like, you don't know how I'm gonna finish. And I'm
Character
gonna
work.
hit you with the crazy chop.
Character work on 1,000.
Dude,
You don't know how or where I'm going to finish.
Facts. He
Poor
was going
wife.
crazy. Crazy. He still got it. And he's like, I'm only getting better. Shit, I was fat all my life. So shit, now I'm
Oh,
jacked. Oh, it's on. You about to get it.
He's
So-
stacking them like Roman, boy.
Right.
Sounds like I need to go on my Gunther run sometime soon.
I mean, hey.
It'd be interesting to see what happens when he erases Honky Tonk's record. I'm very interested to see what
He
Well-
loses that shit the next day.
I was like, we're getting into that. First off, surprisingly, really good match. I was like,
Why do you say
shot.
surprisingly?
because Riddle can have a great match. That's not in question, and so can Gunther.
Right.
But where was the heat behind this? Like, who cares?
None. It was
Like,
like put together.
that's
a
the
week
problem.
ago.
It's exactly, and it's like a who cares. So some of these throwaway matches, it would have been a lot more impactful as far as like at WrestleMania when Sheamus was involved, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
just like you said, the polars. I need the polars.
They didn't do a good job building this because of
I had
Riddle
no dog
coming
in
back
the
from
fight.
rehab,
but
and then them trying to put him into the bloodline thing, and then seeing that wasn't working.
yeah,
So yeah, they didn't do a great job building this match, but so I do agree
Right.
there.
but both of these guys can go, and Riddle, when he's not doing real kinky shit in his normal life, goes crazy in the ring. Pause. No, it's just he's a fantastic worker. Gunther, fantastic worker, and they put together like, and apparently this match has happened like several times already in the independents. So yeah, they just have great chemistry. Fantastic match. And I like how it ended. He was like, look, I'm gonna chop the shit out of your legs, and then I'm just gonna break your ankle. And made him tap. I'm like, dope.
Made
And
him
then
tap quickly too.
facts. But then the surprise right in your eyes. Drew McIntyre comes out. You hear the music. He didn't come out with a sword. He wasn't ready to commit mass murder. But he was ready to whip some ass. Guys, we are getting Gunther v. Mac at SummerSlam.
Now, that's your opening match at SummerSlam, ladies and gentlemen.
Ooh.
That's
So-
your opener.
Tell me, Dub, where is Gunther on this this crazy run he's going as far as breaking Honky Tonk's record? I thought it would be prior to SummerSlam.
So, Honky Tonk Man held the IC title for 454 days. Gunther, as of June 10th, he was at a whole year. So,
Oh, fuck.
We're looking at WrestleMania, possibly.
yeah. No,
Damn.
It's gonna be like it's Royal
another 100
Rumble
days, so 3 months. So we'd be looking at Survivor Series, which, I mean, that's Gang Wars. So you don't pull the belt off him then. So
Right.
he probably loses his belt at Royal Rumble.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, which sucks for Drew.
What if he
'cause,
loses
I
it and
wanna
then
see-
wins the Royal Rumble in the same night?
Okay,
I
It's possible,
can't see
especially
that.
think about how he finished the Royal Rumble last year. He was the last guy before Cody got eliminated.
I
like-
can't see that because I've already moved on from Money in the Bank straight to Royal Rumble. Yeah,
Our guy. Yeah.
it's foregone conclusion.
Yeah. You would think.
That's where I'm.
We're booking our guy. The LA Night agenda is in full effect.
Right.
I can't stop it. I will not stop it.
But in an alternate timeline, when in our timeline like where Ricochet has swag or something, I can see Gunther winning the Rumble after losing the IC title at Royal Rumble. So that's not a bad idea. But yeah, Drew coming back, it's exciting because I'm not gonna lie, I thought Drew was the fuck up out of there.
Me too.
Because he's one of the. I feel like Drew's the only guy from that pandemic era who didn't get his moment. Like Big E got his moment, Lashley got his moments. All those guys that were like really carrying the Thunderdome era that I know we all love so much, they all got their moments. The Usos, Roman, Sammy, Kevin, all of those guys, except for Drew. And Drew really wanted that. And I thought he was like, yeah, you're not gonna give me my moment and you're not gonna up my deal, I'm probably up out of here. So I wonder where Drew's moment is gonna come, honestly, because they're not taking this belt off of Gunther until he breaks that Honky Tonk Man record.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's more to solidify Gunther's run, in all honesty, versus what this is gonna do for Drew. Drew's held IC title numerous times, and he's had some decent runs. He's also, even though it happened unceremoniously, he's a former WWE champ. So you couple those things together, he's the perfect person to occupy Gunther's time for the next 30 to 60, possibly 90 days, to get him to the next thing. And again, it further gives him more of notches on his belt in this run that he's putting together.
Fair, that's fair. I mean, it'll give Drew a lot of time to count down until the Claymore, because I know how much E-Ray loves that spot.
But
if I had one thing that I just do not like about, he got rid of the sword, because I'm a big fan, or excuse me, what's the antithesis of being a huge fan of something? Being a like, I don't want to say a hater, because I'm not a hater, but I just despise when people carry like murderous weapons around in a place where you're not going to kill anyone. It's very much. I call it the Ninja Turtles effect. I hate seeing Leonardo and fucking Raphael with scythes and swords, and they never stab anybody. Fucking kill somebody.
That did always bother me.
Two things to blame on that. You can blame Secret of the Ooze, because Secret of the Ooze Part 2 to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they removed all the violence from that one because of how violent the first one was and how much it popped. Yeah, exactly.
First one was violent.
Second one was fire still, though.
Second one was fire for all just nostalgia purposes. There you go. That's what more put that over. And shout out to Kevin
Ernie
Nash,
Reyes
Super
whooping ass
Shredder.
in the middle of the mall. Come on, man.
Oh, I agree. But to that point of the Turtles, I used to feel the same way when Triple H would pull that fucking sledgehammer out. I'm like, he could legitimately
and then
kill
put
somebody.
put his hand on the fucking hammer part, and then just put it in somebody. No, fucking Crush somebody's leg.
And in fairness, there's in future BA shows, there is a SummerSlam where Triple H tees off on a certain person with the sledgehammer uncovered. We will get into it later on this month, but most of the time he's covering that thing up like he's about to. Anyways, yes, he's just covering it up.
Well, penalty box is open, sir.
I know. I brought the keys out. I ain't trying to go
bring everything right back to wrestling. Kevin Nash, Ninja Turtles, WWE.
There you go,
guys. It's an art to this shit. I'm telling you, we're fucking
2 degrees of separation to everything from pro wrestling.
Cause
prove me wrong.
People won't listen to me when I tell them that everything is wrestling, but it just is.
It's okay.
It's inescapable.
It's an inevitable.
Death, taxes, and everything is wrestling.
Death, taxes, and wrestling. Okay. With that said, where do we go? Condom, and Cody.
Yeah, that was such a weird
Cody wins.
match to me.
Move on. Cody wins.
Yeah, we all got that one right, I believe, except me. I think I said no DQ.
No, I think I got that one wrong too. I said Dom.
No,
I thought Brock Lesnar was gonna come and beat his ass.
BA, you were the only one to get that right.
Because I said Cody will win, but I said via DQ, trying to be a smart ass.
Yeah,
I should.
Everybody else said Dom would win because Brock would baptize Cody by fire.
Since y'all hated this or don't care about this match, I actually liked it a lot. Surprisingly,
really, I gotta go back. And watch
I like the match, but they're like
pointless.
There's more important things to talk about. And
sure, for sure, I'm not gonna spend time on it. Just saying, I really enjoyed the match because one thing I'm noticing a lot as they're putting Dom through the paces. This is so much of a better spot for him because he don't have to do a lot of moves. He can really soak up the crowd's energy and hatred for him. And then when he does hit a move, it's so much more impactful because you're like, fuck this guy. I do not want him to win. He don't get no offense in. And then when he does something, but he also is selling better. And then, of course, his really terrible 619, people always catch it. I love that because it's like, no, this is so slow speed. This fucking tiger feint kick, this is so slow. Grab that shit, uppercut him, beat his ass. Yeah, it was actually a really well worked match. So I would say, BA, go back and watch it. I'm pretty sure with not the high intensity or a high loading of the shit that was to come, without the pressure of that, just watching it was like, oh, that's an enjoyable match. The problem is it was just an enjoyable match on a pay-per-view. It's like this could have been on Monday Night Raw. But
that's
so I think that's what would take it down, if anything. But moving on.
Some smoke in this city, boy.
What a match,
man.
What a match. I know, I feel like a lot of us would say like Seth probably is wrestling soulmates with like Cody and Roman, but I think you got to put Finn right there too, man. These guys can't miss. These guys cannot miss. And we had mixed results on that one. Some getting it right, some getting it wrong. But I'll say this much: I was wrong. I was wrong. They booked us in a way where Balor doesn't have to go away for a while.
Because of and this is where they're doing God's work of wrestling right now. It's the priest factor, man. Now you got a whole nother thing added into the equation. Yeah. I couldn't book it better, so I'm not gonna complain. I got this one wrong. I thought Finn was gonna pull it off and they was gonna swap these titles back and forth. Pause.
We all thought Finn was gonna pull this one off. It was just too obvious.
I desired it to happen, and I'm gonna go on a limb there. I wasn't as high on this match as y'all were. It was okay to me. It never hit that gear that I needed to hit.
Maybe because you've seen it so many times.
Nah, it wasn't that. It just, I don't know. It just, the things that they were doing, it felt like I've seen Kenny and Ospreay. So this ain't hitting as hard. And,
yeah.
and that's why I was like, it tainted
your wrestling palette.
yeah, just like
You didn't eat that salad before you threw down. I get it.
Yeah, just like
You gotta get them greens in you to set the stage for that.
So it just wasn't it for me. So I wanted to like it. I think I liked the heat and the magnitude around it more than I actually liked the match. And then considering how it ended, really, like, I thought the match was pretty good, and then it started cranking up. And I'm like, okay, here we go. Right when it was just about to like turn up, it was over. And I didn't enjoy how it ended. So that also, it just left overall not a great feeling for me particularly, even though I do love, like, this Seth is insane. It's like, yeah, he is legitimately the greatest version of himself. He has borrowed and took from so many things, from so many people, to like just convey this incredible version of himself. Now he really gets it, and gets it as a, dare I say, baby face. Yo, it's E-Ray, the quasi bad guy, the Diet Coke of evil, the side god of pod, and I'm here to tell y'all, come check out my show, Binge Flicks and Chill. You never know what you're gonna get, but we always talking some good shit when it comes to television and the latest movies. So we want to bring y'all in. We want to make sure you have a good time. You learn something, you laugh, you cry, you might stab a nigga or two. I don't know what you're gonna get, but that shit's popping. So come check out Binge Flicks and Chill. And it's me, E-Ray, and I'm out. Which it historically, Seth Rollins always stinks it up as a babyface. He's always better in the chase as a babyface. Once he gets the belt, completely, like, you lose interest. Not the case right now. Right now, it's like, why? Oh, he's like Hansel. He's so hot right now.
You know why, E-Ray? Because it wasn't something that they tried to push on us. It was something the fans created by how they were reacting to him. And then they could organically just throw another factor in there with Priest now kind of amping up the heelness on the Judgment Day side. Now it's Seth against now two dudes, one of which they won't stop whooping his ass every other day between any show on WWE programming. And now you got a guy holding a briefcase that can show up at any moment and fuck you up. So yeah, I think it's just more of the organic play, whereas in the past, they've changed his character purposefully to say, hey, he's a babyface now. Whereas it just smoothly happened.
It's the whole thing of, like, they tried to make him into Batman, and the people selling tickets are adults, and when you're an adult, the Joker makes more sense than Batman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or at least he's funner. I don't know about
he's more fun.
He's just more fun.
Makes more sense. Sometimes you just want to shoot people in the face.
That just shows you where society's at these days.
Say,
and the fact Dub is from where RoboCop 3 resides.
Yeah. Right.
Somebody call RoboCop
the murder capital. But I would say for sure, it definitely felt like this Seth. Again, I'm going back for quite some time. It's not even before the Money in Bank, before the Judgment Day stuff. It's just this version of Seth works on either side of the card. Usually his heel shit is so good and you're like, oh, it's so dirty and dastardly, this is so fun. But this works as a babyface as well, which typically his character just loses all its teeth when it's a babyface versus it being a ferocious beast type as a heel. So it's like, oh, he says the things, he does the things, but when he's a face, he can't say anything. And it's like, oh, this is that corny, generic shit. But so now he finally figured it out where he's just him. And this just, whoever this character is, good or bad, it's just him. And it feels right. So you still can sing the song either way. You still can be extremely audacious and like flamboyant with these crazy outfits and costumes. Omega drip, if you will. It's just, it works. And then having him be the fighting champion, it's still working because it's like, all right, cool. He is adding the legitimacy to the championship. And then again, we're gonna get to it. So many things to get to. That's why the shit was great. But yeah, I enjoyed that part. And again, the atmosphere around it was really good. The Damien Priest tease cash in and Finn just messing it up at the end. That was annoying to me, but it happens. So yeah, I'm okay with it. After that,
we here now.
We here?
Oh yeah, let's get into
We're
it.
here now. The loudest 3 count in all of wrestling in the past 3.5 years. Roman Reigns' shoulders hit that mat for a 3. And who was the one to pin him?
No,
Who was
You're
it?
burying the lead. You just jumped straight to the end. I think. Are you married? Did you
pulled
just
a
get
BA.
married?
You just pulled a BA.
Just pull him out.
Oh,
Like no.
thank me.
Before that, my God, the build up. They actually copyright dubbed it the Roman Reigns, the Usos, Solo Sikoa, the Bloodline Civil War. I was like, oh, they're actually just like really running with this meme. Okay, cool.
Oh,
And
they spread it.
And they put the package behind it, and they put the machine behind it, and you start watching the promos come out, and then the Usos music hit, and that O2 arena went fucking nuts. And I was like, yo. And
No more Road Warrior pop. It's a Usos pop now.
you can feel the energy.
Wow.
They were going crazy, and the Usos was feeding off of it. Then Roman comes out, and this crowd was going crazy on Roman, and they booing him. They tell, if you hate Roman, stand up. If you hate Roman, stand up. And he's playing, giving it back and forth. I was like, oh, this is so good. From the opening bell with Solo going against Jimmy, and usually it's like, okay, this match was a masterpiece. Let's start there. And that's why I can't just let you can't let you do that. This was a masterpiece, a masterclass of sports entertainment from all facets. Like, this may be like candidate for wrestling match of the year.
It's up there.
I'm like, man, with the way it hit on every level and the conclusion and the significance, the callbacks, it had so much. I really actually just rewatched it again last night with Big AR, and she's seen it for the first time, and she's like, oh my God, oh. It hits the feels. So for me, and I'm not gonna put words in your mouth. I'll let you guys tell me your experience, but from the opening bell, usually I don't give a shit what Jimmy's doing. This is just how it is for me.
Poor
But Jimmy and
Not
Solo and that exchange, the older brother and the youngest brother going at it, and the younger brother like, hey, I'm here now, tossing them around, and then him like, all right, I accept the challenge. And then you start seeing the interplay, Jay looking like main event Jay Uso, the tribal tats all laced up. He is ready for something more. Soon as he gets the hot tag, Roman, no. Solo has to back down, taps in Roman. Roman gets the tag, and now the crowd is just going fucking nuts. It's rabies all over, unhinged, foaming at the mouth. Shit was going insane, and it was palpable, just back and forth action. They hit a spot where there was a super kick into a Superman punch into a spear or some shit. I was like, and then the kick out, the low blow kick out, calling back from 3 years ago. My God, the work they did on the outside, the built-in tag team kind of shenanigan cheating, man, it was a masterpiece. And then with Solo getting taken out, the brothers catching Roman and just piecing him up like true brothers should, and then getting I got ahead of myself. The spike spear stack kick out.
That was a cool spot. That was such a cool spot.
I'm like,
let everybody know where we at in this story.
The double kick out.
Yes, there was. Roman had what he had. What's the name? It already got punched or speared or something like that, or Yeah, he hit Jimmy with the spike, and then he picked up Jay, and then Roman looked like, yeah. He runs against the ropes. As he spears him, Solo spikes him. And I'm like, oh shit, it's over. He like, yeah, drag this bitch over here. And he drags Jimmy, puts him on top of Jay, and I'm like, damn, he really just did that to these niggas. That is such a dominant move. That shit's crazy. And then as Solo just ready to celebrate, they kick out. And Solo looks like, nigga. And Roman looks unhinged. He just in utter disbelief. And then we get that exchange. Everything happens. And of course, they just start wailing on Roman. They hit him with everything they got. The 1D and all this shit. They even had a ref spot. It was so classic, incredible wrestling. Played with the audience. The crowd was into it. I was into it. And then we got as Dub was getting to, the 3 count heard around the world. The global 3 count. 1, 2, 3. Jey Uso pins Roman Reigns for the first time in 3.5 years. Roman is looking just inconsolable outside the ring, while Jimmy and Jay figures out some cool ass way to throw up gang signs, and they are the ones, which technically makes 2. But it is what it is. Yeah. Sorry, I had to go in there. I gave it to me. This is what I was like, shit, incredible. This is what took it over the top for me. Dub, I need to hear your feelings before BA buzz kills all over me. I can feel it. I feel it. BA is like, I want to be a contrarian today. I ain't like it.
I can feel the energy. So one thing I loved about this match, and I've loved about Roman's entire run, is after that double kick out, when Roman kind of retreats back and like he starts losing his mind, like, and he's done it a couple other times in some of his other defenses. It's like
doesn't make sense.
Doubt creeps in, and then like it's just, he gets scared, and he starts thinking like maybe everybody that was talking bad about me all these years was right, and I'm not that guy. And like he starts to unravel in a way that's just is cinematic. And then you juxtapose that with Solo, who's just looking at him like, nigga, what's wrong with you? Violence. We just continue violence. Like, what's going on? They kick out, we start kicking them again. Like, what are you doing? And then Roman's like, yeah, no, that's what we do. Yeah, you're right. And it's just such a great layer to that character, in my opinion, that, like, to me, isn't talked about enough on other pods, but granted, they're not us, the greatest wrestling pod of all time. That being said,
not their fault.
I just want to put out there the hashtag Dub was right. Jay got that pen.
You did.
Kept telling y'all that's how
I thought they was gonna wait for SummerSlam. Again, this is why I was wrong. I booked it. I booked some great shit. It just wasn't what they were thinking. So, yeah.
But yeah, the low blow kick out was poetic justice. I was like, this is the longest term booking that they've done in forever.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ. But cinema. Scorsese couldn't direct a better movie. BA, tell us why we're tripping and why you hated this match.
No, why would I hate it? It's giving everything that you want from this story. I
don't know. I just figured you just wanted to piss off the women on the IWC by hating on their Usos.
No, you've done a good job pissing women off in this episode, Dub. I'm not gonna. You've done enough. I'm gonna leave the women alone.
Damn. Way to slam down that reverse card. Back to me, bitch.
Skip the next 6 turns. No, like that ultimate Uno. I will say this. We were talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles a segment ago. Mm-hmm. This is a great example of what happened at the end of part 2 when they thought Shredder was dead. Is Super Shredder gonna emerge at SummerSlam?
Oh,
or
shit.
Are we about to just go straight to fucking feudal Japan in part 3? That's where we're at right now. So
you're an
Can we
apprehensive
skip to the
mode.
animated movies? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, just skip completely over those Michael Bay joints. That's what I'm scared.
Should. But no, I mean we all forget about the one where they went over to overseas for some reason. It's not my favorite one. We don't.
I don't forget about that.
Stop,
what
BA.
I'm sorry, Dub.
That's what every single trilogy does. They're like, you know what?
Dub, this is payback.
Let's
for
go to
E-Ray,
Japan.
And you bringing up Blade 3. Exactly.
You over here
2
about to
months
bring
ago.
up the Ninja Turtles UPN cartoon, TV show and shit. They was teaming up with
Yeah, I
the
like
Power
that.
Rangers and they had the random girl turtle. Like, calm down.
AKA, we try to get kids' eyes on this by any means necessary. All
I
the
enjoyed that
collabs.
one too.
We get
See,
we get
E-Ray
With the
wasn't-
Mystic,
headbands
they
and
had
Right.
they're like Mystic Force or something.
Yeah,
What is this?
I'll watch it, damn it. But no, I bring that up to say, I'm very interested to see are they really gonna pull the trigger
They're gonna
on
put
main
the title
event
on Jey
Jey.
Uso.
So that's where my intrigue is now. I'll give the storyline a lot of respect in which all the twists and turns are things that I want to see. They just aren't twisting and turning just to twist and turn. They like I said, they're timing it up so perfectly. It's like when I start to get like, okay, where's fucking Fonzie getting ready to jump the shark? Where's he at? They switch it up on me and they move it right along as they should. So you're not gonna hear me speak anything ill of this storyline until it's over, when we can actually look at it and we can continue our pod-long discussion of the greatest stable ever, Dub. So
Greatest
we talk
stable
about
ever,
long-
greatest storyline.
we talk about
ever.
long-term
Yeah.
booking. I'm trying to long-term book this show to where this argument will not
Well,
be
Ian,
We'll go
put
in
at
your
rest.
favor.
BA, let me help you
right?
out now. The stable's over. Like the
Yeah.
stable's over.
And imploded.
Yeah, it imploded. I don't know if you saw,
But the
there was a
storyline
civil
is
war.
still continuing. It's still
Yeah, but
continuing.
we can already say it's the greatest stable ever.
I don't know, Dub. They could go NWO 2000 and invite all the Usos into this, and you don't know where this could go. Like I'm saying,
Yes,
It
we do.
should-
We know exactly
it
where it's
should,
going.
but
We'll
you
be
could have
there.
Umaga's son and MLW standing in this ring 6 months from now, and you
Jacob
know it, and I
Fatu
know
is not
it.
walking
If Vin-
through that door.
if Vince
Dwayne
McMahon,
Johnson is not walking through that door.
speaking of Dwayne Johnson, my favorite spot in the match was when Jey Uso started doing the rock punches from back in the day. That was my favorite spot in the match. But
It wasn't the double rock bottoms.
no, the punch, because nobody punches like that, and that's why I was like, the double rock. Everybody runs rock bottoms. That's not pertinent to just the rock, but those punches are pertinent to Dwayne and Dwayne only. But I will say this. I'm
E-Ray,
sorry.
back me up here, please. Please. Best stable of all time.
We ain't
can't-
doing that here.
I
We
can't
ain't
go
doing
that far.
here.
I
Thank
can't
you.
go
Okay.
the best
Best
stable
storyline
yet.
of all
The
time.
best storyline.
I'll give you
I'm
best
there.
storyline.
I'm
Yeah.
there.
We haven't seen anything like this in wrestling, period. And
Yeah.
I'm talking like ever watching it. It's never been broken down to this level as far as
So,
all the hits.
But
hitting.
now I'm wondering, because it's still time to fuck this up and fuck this off. They still got
I'm
4
saying.
weeks to get us to the hype. We have Friday has been dubbed Tribal Court with Roman Reigns. Basically, is
I gotta feel
you
we
know
can see Rikishi.
the Usos really fuck with the culture. So with in translation, for black people, this would be known as homie court. This is where you take your homie, like, hey, you was fucking up, bro. Like, you tried to DM old girl that I was smashing. That's homie court. You take them to
These
homie
are
court. That's a
big
violation.
facts. Yep.
So they're taking them to the tribal court, and let's see how this plays and what happens from there. It's plenty of time and plenty of things that could go right or wrong here. I'm not sure though. So with that said, I will definitely keep an eye on it because it still has time to completely implode, just like the Bloodline did. But I'm thinking they're plotting this so well. Yeah, just keep talking about it, antagonize it until Jey has to accept Roman's chances and title shot, and Roman says, no, I'm about to put all this to an end and I'm about to destroy you. Or he sends Solo out there to do his bidding for him at SummerSlam, and then Solo loses. He snaps on Solo, and that's what brings us to the next portion of it. I don't know which one happens, but either way, incredible. Let's give this a grade. If you had to give it a grade, top to bottom, Money in the Bank 2023 goes where?
B+.
I give it an
If the women's tag match isn't on the card, it's A+.
That was the only like downside I think, because when I watched, I was like, ugh. And I was driving. I took a day trip from Austin. I watched this pay-per-view in the car on the way back, and I was like,
Nice.
This is fire.
That women's tag match is like, it's bad top to bottom.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna still give it an A, man, because every match.
I get it. You're great on the curve. I get it, man. I totally get it.
Well, we ain't talking.
Hey, we all like curves, except for
I was about to
Dub,
say.
apparently.
I was about to say, Dub just
For
set us
obvious
up
reason.
for that one.
He
E-Ray
did.
took it.
Wait. I gave it a
Dub-
B. I got 2 curves in my grade. What are y'all doing?
Jesus.
They're fake. I'm gonna give it an A-.
Oh, good with me, brother.
I mean, in my like, every match on a card. I mean, it's rare. They do happen where every match can be perfect, but it's rare.
That's usually
that's the Air
NXT.
Plus, and that's the A+. We give A+ for that type of card. So I'm gonna let and Ronda got turned on. What do you want from them? Like you got Ronda on her way out.
What's the thing? Like, had the turn not happened, it was just a regular match.
I'd be with you. I'd
just
be
would have
with
been
your
a B.
B+.
But once that turn happened and that one tear rolled down my eye of happiness.
Let me ask you this:
so beautiful.
Is that incredible? That because that match was almost an hour long. I don't even know how long that match was. The end match. It should felt like
the Bloodline
45 minutes long.
It was 45
yeah,
minutes.
it was a long ass match.
It was incredible, but that's how good it was. It was like, it's so long, because I was like, wait.
Yeah, it didn't feel like it.
I was like 2:30. I was like, this ends at 3:30. I was like, hold up. The entrances and stuff. Then they got to it. So it's 45-minute match.
Yeah, they can't.
Was that not good enough to cancel out Ronda and then
That's
exceed?
what I was saying.
You put Ronda Rousey on my television. No.
Oh, come on.
All right, Dub, too crazy.
Yeah.
A- for me. So I really enjoyed it.
You barely graded it above mine. I gave it an 89. You gave it a 91.
I'm
Yeah.
the one that put it over.
You deserve that though. A and a B look different.
True that.
Like,
ask my parents.
I'm about to say, go to Victoria's Secret.
Or that too. Victoria's.
The difference between A and
her
B.
letter scale don't lie either.
This is a very suggestive
Dub is
podcast
like a cup is a cup. I'm a Whoa.
Let me just see it.
Right. Let me just see.
I'm like the street, what's called street properties entrance. All the cups. Just give me all the cups.
Yeah. Just
Jesus.
firing down on you.
Right.
Brazil. I bring the swag.
With that said, guys, we can quickly get into Raw
Monday
and NXT.
Night Raw.
We're not gonna hold y'all too long for this. This is mainly a Money in the Bank recap.
Spots.
But we'll go. I will say Raw opening. Oh, it was incredible.
They putting this whole company on Cody's back.
I mean, I don't even see. I don't even want to get into a discussion, but I felt like they put this whole company on Seth's back. It's his niggas. He come out there introducing the show, and he just talk about it. Hey guys, you see this? This match was crazy. And Roman got pinned. Ooh. He's all kooky and shit. And then it's like Cody comes out. I love the tease, and right before the tease, it's on site. And now,
here's why I said that, E. Because like, not only did they tease that, Cody's coming for Joker Seth's belt, Homelander's coming for Joker Seth's belt, 100%. But oh shit, he still has the stuff with Brock, and it's on site. And we all know how Brock is. He only sells for guys that he respects. And what did Brock do when he decided to come to work on Monday? He got right back to selling for Cody the way he hasn't sold
that
for anybody except for
Cody
Roman and Taker.
Cody Cutter, my bad.
Yeah, he sold for Roman and Taker like that.
Yeah.
Nobody else. And that's what I'm saying. Like,
Gotcha.
So they're gonna give us another Cody win over Brock, and then they're
definitive win.
It's kind of unheard of.
And then they're probably gonna put this belt on him.
That would be interesting. Because so Cody said,
I think that's where we're going now.
So
I think I'm all in on that.
So that's interesting for a few reasons. Number one, Cody has never lost to Seth.
That's what makes it the most intriguing.
He 3-0. So it's like, give me that belt. It's mine now. I don't think that happens. I think it doesn't happen because if you watch, which I love, I'll put this over, and I'm happy they brought it back. Those WWE press conferences after the show goes off.
Watch it. It's on YouTube.
I'll watch those. That's like that's a must. That's a must every time.
Watch it tonight now.
It's fantastic. But Cody sits there and they ask him, would winning the World Heavyweight Championship be completing the story? And he says, with all due respect, love that belt. I love that what Seth's doing with it. He's adding prestige to it every time he works. But no, it's like the finishing the story is all about the title my dad never held. So literally,
this is your next long-term booking story.
And now it's like, it's not finishing the story. It's like a side quest or the start of a new story.
Yeah, side mission.
That's like
the phone booth in GTA.
I'm with it, but it's not finishing the story. So I think what I would assume that would happen is if they did somehow build this after this tease, Cody gets back to, I think they just wanted to gather what the crowd response is going to be and kind of tease us a little bit. And then like, oh yeah, you forgot about Brock because you thought he was coming out before and he didn't. So he's like, all right, cool, we got that. But I think after this is all said and done with him and Brock, they are going to figure out the Roman shit. Like, he needs that belt. And I don't think they want to take it from Jay because that turns him into a heel. So I feel like Jay can't quite do it or something. Or I don't know how that works yet. I haven't figured that out. We got it in time. We'll be able to find out. But I think Cody stated like, hey, this wouldn't be finishing the story for me. But in the meantime, me and Cody gonna go at it. And do people automatically count Cody out? Because essentially this is like Cody's unstoppable monster, kind of like Finn to Seth. And Seth was like, shit, I can't beat this nigga. I was like, I've been Joker as Seth, and he just whipping my ass all the time. And even with one titty, he beat my ass. Without an arm, he spit.
I even came out wearing his daddy's gear. Ain't do shit.
Yep, but got my ass whipped.
Right.
Got an atomic elbow.
He pulled out all the tricks. None of them did anything.
Hell in a Cell and all. So they have incredible chemistry, though. So I would not mind seeing Cody Seth 4. I think that would be incredible. But again, I just don't think he gets that belt. He could, and he have a nice little reign with it, and then he gets back to that. But I feel like if you got somebody to take the belt off Roman, it has to be Cody. It just feels right to me.
Man, it's gonna be an interesting 6 months of this year, boy. The rest of this year, it's gonna be interesting.
For real.
It's hard to book.
I feel like Jay has to do it at SummerSlam to complete that story.
But does he, Dub? Does he have to do it? Because we ain't here for Jay's story.
Right.
I mean, we are. That story has always been about Jay.
But
because 3 years ago, Cody wasn't there.
Agreed. But you could argue that Jay's story is concluding right now. He finally beat up. He got one over on his cousin that's beat the shit out of his whole life.
But there's nothing wrong with Roman taking that belt.
And maybe they're not fighting for the belt. They fight for the position of tribal chief. Something like that.
Especially after this tribal chief court thing happens, it could be something completely.
But to me, there would be nothing wrong with Roman taking that belt back from Jay.
Gotcha.
At some point, like at the Rumble.
I see.
And then.
But then what?
Cody wins the Rumble. And then he's like, we gotta run this back.
Twice in a row, Dub. No, man, he ain't shot.
He's Stone Cold. He's Stone Cold.
Right.
Listen. He got Brock selling for him. I'm just saying.
I mean, that's respect though, Dub. That's the selling stuff. That's a mutual respect thing. That doesn't tell me where somebody's gonna be booked at. That just tells you that he's looked at with respect.
I mean, I don't even tell you where he's booked at. He's at the top of the card.
But as far as the specific booking of it, like who's gonna be holding what and when and why, like
I'm just saying, like, if you guys think that the story is Cody taking that belt off of Roman, it has to happen at Mania next year. But to conclude this storyline that you've been telling for 3 years and not take yourself off track like some people thought you should have done at Elimination Chamber, Jay has to take that belt off of Roman. Roman can get it back at some point, but to conclude this part of this story, Jay has to take that belt off of Roman. Like, the Island of Relevancy, like, you have to drop that nuke on it because it only exists because the Island of Relevancy is the title. Roman holding that title, standing on the belt, That's the island. Jay has to rip the island away from him, literally and figuratively.
I don't know if that is necessarily has to be the island. I think the island is taking away his bloodline and leaving him solo.
Correct.
No
pun
Sokola.
intended.
No pun intended.
No Sokola.
I'm with
But
E on that.
I think that's where it goes. But to moving on, because there's a few other things to talk about this Raw that are important. One, the promo tonight, cut by Shayna Baszler, slicing Ronda to pieces. Ronda continues to fight the mic like Ricochet. And I don't know who has a harder time grasping the English language, but it's like when they talking to the mic, it feels like the original when Ricky Bobby won the first.
Yeah, it's like he's yelling at the microphone.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Talking to it.
It feels like that, and it feels like Dutta Man at the same time.
Yeah. Very, very bad. But Ronda
Does
comes.
Shayna listen to the pod? Because I feel like she said everything we've been saying for 2.5 years now.
She took everything that everybody said, and it was incredible. She literally laid it out. Ronda came marching to the ring all intense and serious like she do. And then she was like, you know what? Shayna, you owe me an explanation. What was that? And Shayna came out, new music.
Fire.
Hit my music. Shit was fire. And then she said, Ronda,
I don't owe you shit.
Shut your mouth.
I don't owe you shit but this ass whooping.
Right.
She said, you here for play. I love this shit.
Yeah,
and I'm so sick of you. You wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for me. Yeah. I said, whoa, talk your shit, queen.
The only apology I owe is to these people for bringing you into the WWE. Like, yeah.
I was like, apology accepted. I'll kick her ass again.
A grease fire engulfed the ring after that one.
Right. Oh, it was great. And she was coming with that Miz heat, that Miz type of fire in her belly. And I'm like, ooh, okay. She gave a lot of hot rock sauce, like, hey, I did this and that. I don't remember when you wasn't with me shooting in the gym. You wasn't with me putting
together rings and shit. As someone who just helped unload a ring for an indie match, nigga.
You feel it. You're like, hey, you wasn't a young
boy. I felt
boy.
that shit in my soul. I was like, wait a minute. I paid more dues than Ronda Rousey? What shit is this?
So like, you just automatically go to match after match. You ain't did nothing else. I was here doing this. And I was like, yeah, she's not wrong. And because she was so accurate and right, it felt like, oh, wow, this is such heat. And I loved it. And this is why I thought that shoot fight, even though we got here clunky and I hated that, how we got here, I loved where we are. And I feel like, oh, this could be the perfect way to give Shayna the ultimate rub. Because, it's beating Ronda out here. And then Shayna had a rough road of it. She would hit her stride, even though I wasn't the biggest fan. She was incredible as far as her stride when it came to NXT. But then in WWE, her main call-up, her first line of business was becoming a cannibal and eating Becky Lynch. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? And I was like, that is
She was an extra from Blade 3.
See, he did it again, E. I had your back, E. I'm gonna leave this one alone.
It's okay. Dub has bad choices in everything, so his movie choices are much like his women.
When we get to Detroit, it's fine.
Oh yeah,
it's fine. I don't believe in violence. I believe in using my words to shred people to pieces. But regardless of the fact, so good, so well done. I couldn't ask for more. I think we are headed to a really, like, I don't want them to do a promo off because I know we still got 4 weeks to build this. But shit, I just need them to be like, it's on site and fight each other, keep breaking it up, and then just have that tension built. Like, because talking ain't gonna do it. Ronda can't do it. So
yeah, that's a good point. The
more like, do we get SummerSlam Underground?
BA wants it, but
No,
I'll
I
pass.
want Lions did. I want.
Oh, okay. My
Whoa.
bad. I misquoted.
Not that Lions
Oh,
did.
whoa.
I'm talking.
Nope, we gotta
I'm
hear
talking
first.
Stu Hart. Ain't that the Lions did with Stu Hart?
Mumbai Hive. If you ever want to get in my good graces, just clip BA saying, I want Lions Den, and then just put just make a meme with Nikita Lions behind it. I want Lions. I want Lions. All that. Be incredible.
That'll be the first ad for the Fro Bros ice cream truck. Frozen yogurt ice cream truck.
Right. With new
Get
flavor.
your swirl
Lion's
on.
mane.
Get your swirl on.
Lions man, ain't that the shit they put in Shakeout?
Like a lit, right? It's like it's blonde, so it's like lemon and vanilla swirl.
People be ready to fucking take over the world after consuming that shit.
Teen Wolf style. But yes, I love that. Moving out of that, the other two things I noticed, because apparently this was like a really good Raw for promos. Both The Miz and
Sitting in his chair, Ciampa. He back.
yeah, the only thing that was missing, I needed him to throw that bitch.
Yeah.
And just
Yeah,
walk away.
I was so ready for that. I didn't even listen to the promo the first time he did it. I was ready for the chair throw.
Yeah, didn't happen. But
Going back, I was
baby
like,
steps, baby steps.
damn good promo. But
Exactly.
Miz, woo! This is the
Boy
last
good.
person to call me a coward ain't here no more. I was
That
like,
boy
damn.
good. That boy good. You seen the fire in his eyes. I love this Miz. This is the talking smack Miz. This is that one. I remember that run. I'm with it. Everything about this rectified, easy. This is
I remember
quick
that
hit.
talking smack, boy. That was
Yeah.
leaving your
Something.
TV on, talking smack, come on, like, oh, whatever. And you're like, oh shit.
Him and Daniel Bryan, him just yelling at Daniel Bryan.
Michael was angry.
I'm like, dang, and this was when Daniel Bryan couldn't wrestle or nothing. He was just sitting there talking, and he was like, yo, okay, bro. Fantastic. I'm really hyped for that. Low light, Ricochet trying to talk to Logan Paul. So we will skip right over that.
Put that man a manager. Jesus.
And
It needs to be you, nigga, Shay.
Nigga Shay. He gonna, I mean, you know, everybody's got a price for the BABBIC. You already know how that goes. I don't think Ricochet can pay.
outside of that, the overarching looming thing was Seth Rollins versus Dom with Damien Priest.
Dirty
Senor.
Dom.
Yeah,
Dirty
sorry,
Dom.
Dirty
Get it
Dom.
right.
I don't like saying that.
It's getting nastier and nastier with those two, boy. Everybody's about to turn into TVMA here pretty soon for their segment.
But Senior Money in the Bank looming. And we're like, we all know what this is. Yet the Judgment Day being so hot right now. So it's just like, it's crazy because they're there, but there's no Finn. They say, oh, I haven't seen Finn since Saturday. Like, what's going on? Well, don't worry about our business. And then, of course, that leads up to Dom having a really good match with Seth Rollins. And then all hell breaks loose. Damien Priest gets involved. They start whipping wholesale ass. And then it was like, oh, yeah, the cash in could happen. But we all knew. And if anybody who's a wrestling fan knew where this was going, literally, here come right when Damien's about to cash in, Finn comes out and starts whipping more ass. And I was like, damn,
It's on site and it's on site.
And he is flaming them. And then Damien gets mad and Seth escapes, basically brutally beaten, but not dead. And that sets up the real Judgment Day feud of Damien and Finn Balor. Quickly, nigga Shay, where do you think this goes?
I think it goes to JD McDonough coming down there to cheat for somebody to get him involved in the Judgment Day. I think this is how we're gonna get an additional member in that.
So,
being
okay,
JD.
so let me ask you this. Do you think, with that said, it sounds like you're leaning towards Damien Priest being ousted and JD Big Head McDonough sliding in. But to me, it feels more like Finn is going on his own on a darker path, and the Judgment Day will remain as it is. Rhea, Dom, and
do we get darker than the Judgment Day though? Can they do that on TV?
I mean, Finn is already
we gonna start setting people on fire like the Attitude Era.
I'm not darker in that way, but more sick because Judgment Day is like they like kind of gangish.
Yeah,
Finn is like
it's like
I
bad.
It's angry.
Yeah,
like
I got you.
Bitter Balor is on some other time, and I feel like him and having maybe JD as his right hand man or something like that. Yeah, it would be fire.
Kind of like their kind of how they use Butch in the Brawling Brutes. He'll be their Butch, his Butch.
Something like
that.
Right, whoa, crazy.
Something like that.
I'll see myself out now.
But that happened. Dub, any thoughts on this before we move to NXT?
I kind of agree with BA, but like in a different way. I think JD McDonough is gonna end up like joining and they kick Priest out, but then this is gonna kind of end like the entire demise of the Judgment Day, because as you can see, Rhea's getting sick of Dom losing all the time, and Rhea's on another stratosphere, so like they could all split and still do like versions of what they're doing now and just kind of go their separate ways as the Judgment Day, because Priest is gonna be like a top level face in the company, not babyface, but like anti-hero babyface. And I think Rhea is gonna end up being just on her own, just being this badass version of herself, probably turning on Dom at some point. I don't know what you do with Dom after that, but whatever. But I think JD joins and like you have like this new Judgment Day for a little bit, and then it slowly starts to break apart like after SummerSlam. Because like Finn on a different path. They was all on this path of evil for a long time. Finn turned on a different path. Bitter Balor is just like, yeah, I'm beating this nigga ass all the time. I don't give a fuck about your briefcase. I'm gonna continue to whoop his ass. And don't get in my way next time, because I want his title too. But I'm gonna continue to whoop his ass though. That's where I see it going.
Okay. We're running close to being out of time. So we're gonna pick our shots really closely here with NXT. I'm gonna give everybody one thing to go from NXT, and we getting out of here. BA, I know almost certainly what you're gonna choose. So Dub, we're gonna start with you.
Oh shit! I was ready for BA to go.
Nigga.
Braun Breaker getting sent up to the main roster in the sky. Ilya Dragunov was like, that was like his last level of Mortal Kombat. Ilya Dragunov is Braun Breaker's Shao Kahn, and he's not gonna be able to beat him. Braun Breaker on Raw right after SummerSlam. Thank you.
From Ilya Dragunov, like bashing his brains up. Okay.
Hey, we've seen people leave the Shadow Realm worse ways. That's pretty deadly.
Quickly, I'm gonna ask one retort. One retort.
Yeah.
Dub, what were your thoughts about that Braun Breaker promo?
It was all right. Not his worst. Not his best.
Damn, tough crowd.
That's nicer than what I thought he was gonna say. I was waiting for him.
Really?
Not his worst.
He's gonna give him some props. It wasn't Fisherman Braun.
These are props for Dub. Dub is
Dub's a resident hater. I forgot. Dub's a resident hater. I should have known this.
Yes,
years of
the fact that I didn't hate it is like me giving Braun a fucking Oscar. Honestly.
Damn.
Told you.
Well, yep. There you have it. Go watch NXT, guys. BA, your moment of NXT of discussion, and it can't be Reggie.
Damn it.
or the
hey, whoa! The street name is Scripps.
What's the street name?
What street? What street?
Reggie in the streets, but Scripps in the bedroom. Nah.
Where's Nia Jax when you don't need it?
Not getting vaccinated?
I'm not gonna take that low hanging fruit. I'm gonna leave that on the tree.
Reggie will pluck it.
You beat me by half a second.
BA, it's on you. Give us your NXT moment. Nope. Pull it together.
I'm sorry.
Get it together.
Ranger McCluckey almost killed me. The tag match to close out the card or to close out the night. I didn't expect that. I mean, they've been having this match forever, but
oh shit, you right.
Yeah, that match was fire as fuck. Then just on a random Tuesday night. Jokingly, I was gonna just say Epiphanies, but I had to give respect to that match. That was a fire ass tag team.
Motherfucking Creed.
Yeah, that one leg
Super
nip
athlete.
up, bruh.
Double suplex into a one-legged kip up.
That's like some shit you see in a video game. Not
Brutus springboard Brutus bomb into outside the ring.
Super athletes.
Man.
Yeah,
those two were made in a fucking laboratory.
Yeah,
probably.
Kurt Angle splooge. So yes, absolutely.
Kurt Angle splooge.
Shout out to my wrestling guy. Fuck you, JBL. Kurt Angle.
Right. Shout out to one of my favorite gifts of all time. Kurt Angle with that hose.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was him down in the milk. I'm sorry.
Oh nah.
Sorry, that's for me.
Spraying the milk. Him spraying the milk and oating the ring.
I'm a big fan of the Kurt Angle. He's just going, yeah, right into the camera. You're like, oh yeah, that's 35 perks right there.
Oh, that's he ripped his singlet straps off and screams for about 15 seconds. Yeah.
E-Ray, can I guess what your NXT moment of the night was?
Go for it, Dub. You're on thin ice. Just remember, you're on thin ice, buddy.
All right. I'm gonna learn how to skate here. Was it all the NXT like rookies around the ring for NXT Underground going?
Oh, that was the Jock Jam shit. We will fight you.
For Night Wolf's entrance and exit.
Night Wolf.
That man is Night Wolf to me forever. DJ Night Wolf.
DJ Night Wolf is always tapping into his animality. I loved it. My thing of the night. Yeah, I really thought it was gonna be like a billion other things. It could have been NXT Underground pretty easily,
but they went Jock Jams, and you just
you
weren't.
Well, when Gable Stevenson start just fucking going crazy, mad fucking German suplexes people just popping up.
Any sense?
And after he after he didn't even look at his brother, like I just trained this guy to beat up my brother. I randomly held a gold medal in his face for no reason. What significance does that mean to DJ Nightwolf? Look at my medals. Look at my medals.
Like, bro, I wasn't in the Olympics. I don't care.
Right.
I don't care.
I don't care. Like, I'm a Native American. This country has never been good to me.
I don't care about these gold medals. Can you get this crowd to react to this baseline? No.
Right.
Shut the fuck up.
I got the PC going crazy right now. What about you, Cable?
I'm about to take these motherfuckers on a vision quest.
Hell yeah.
Mushrooms for everybody. Peyote.
Psilocybin.
I got green axes and shit. What you got? Fuck that metal.
Give me them gold caps.
Dude in the crowd just eating somebody's face. Oh, God.
And then next thing you know, DJ Nightwolf in the middle of the ring with some turntables.
No, but my thing of the evening was it's gotta be, damn, I'm sorry, I'm hogging it here, but it's between Chase U. I love that. I am such a big fan of Chase U. They can't lose my eyes. And surprisingly,
James going to her office and seeing the paint.
No, definitely not.
Paint just keep coming back.
All right. Pause. Definitely has to be Tony D and Stacks McKenzie and the coffee, all kinds of crazy. I was like,
I'm about to make a free Tony D shirt, man. Get my guy out of jail, man.
Right,
Stacks scheming and shit.
Because I was at the underboss ain't holding it down. He done
hell no. Stacks
fandangled a match. Like for what? What is the purpose of this?
Besides you don't lose. If this is power, he's making Tommy look like fucking just Don Corleone right now.
He said
wilding out.
He
What if
said
Stacks
the
does the,
envelopes are
like-
full.
What if Stacks has Gallus do the finger point of doom?
I was thinking that. I was like, oh, he gonna Kevin Nash it up. Like, ugh. Ha 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 ha. You in jail, bitch. Trial. I see you at trial.
I would love to hear a Kevin Nash's podcast if somebody brought back to life the finger poke of doom. I would love to hear what he would have to say.
He would
about
go
that.
crazy.
And then they have that one NXT nigga who like is also a lawyer for some reason, get Tony D out.
I love how
Wait for
NXT is like 90s WWF.
Right.
Somebody gotta talk to
Everybody's got a
All
real
niggas
gimmick.
got jobs. What are we doing?
Everybody's
Yeah.
got it.
Don't y'all pay them like 80,000 a year just to show up and train? Like, why they got jobs too?
Hey man, that's all he knows.
I
Yeah.
guess.
Well,
Can we just have like a
Guys.
whole bonus episode of just booking DJ Nightwolf stuff?
Please.
hey, if y'all into it, 30 minutes of content. We'll give it to y'all right
That
after the
sounds like
BA
fun.
show.
There we
But
go.
with that said, guys, we have reached another episode of, I was gonna say AEW Quick Hits. Let me book the
They
territory.
were so quick this week you didn't even hear them.
Exactly.
Facts. I was like,
The Flash.
rewind and play this at 1.5 speed. You'll hear the whole commentary for AEW Dynamite.
And
But-
make sure you leave a review and star rating after you do that too.
5-star.
Absolutely. You need to leave us 5 stars and
Like the frog
let
splash.
us know why you love us. As crude as you want to be, BA is ready for it all. And be on the lookout because let me book the territory.com is the thing.
This letmebookpod.com, baby.
Let me book
Everything.
.com flows into the Twitter's verse, turns into
Yes.
the IG-verse. It
Yes.
flows into everything. The Potiverse is everything. We are our own universe.
Yes.
And guys, we got merch coming soon. We got lots of surprises coming soon. So again, as this SummerSlam countdown goes, we got some surprises for y'all asses. So be on the lookout. Mumbai Hive, shout out to y'all. We know y'all gonna hold us down when we drop some merch. Everybody around the world, get yourself in on the greatest wrestling pod of all time because everything is wrestling. And we need to do our job because we're always going to book the territory. Dub, tell the people where they can find you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you guys know where you can find me every Tuesday. Technically, it was Wednesday this week. New episodes of Embrace the Turn Up. We are back for the summer. Other than that, if you look for me in these socials, it's ADUB1220 on IG, on Twitter. I'm on the IG threads now. Holla at me there while Musk is fucking up the Twitters. And don't worry, I will still fuck up your algorithm with Twitter and Twitter filth, wrestling filth.
All the filth?
All the
Soon to
filth.
be IG filth,
Yeah.
it sounds like.
IG
Whoa.
filth too. All the filth. And then, you know, when the hoes aren't around, we'll argue about rap too.
More disrespect to women, E, right?
Hey, Dub is in a hole by himself. I'm just walking around it. He's like, throw me a rope.
Okay.
They don't know you.
All right.
I love it.
No,
Oh,
look, he
Dub,
gonna
I
ask
love
me to
it.
throw him a rope. You know I'm gonna throw him a DVD
shovel?
copy of his favorite movie.
Blade 3.
There you
Oh
go.
yeah. With the
Oh,
extended
I was-
commentary.
I was gonna say state property too, but that works too.
I do love state property too.
I know
yeah.
I know you
Do what you
fucking
will.
love state property
love
too.
State
Without even
Property,
having a
too.
discussion, I know you love that movie.
He just wanted to see
Noriega's fucking
Kanye
his one
stab
bitch. She's like,
somebody.
Tuesday, what are you doing calling me? It's Friday. Yeah.
The quickest shank in history by Kanye. Crazy. BA, let the people know where they can find you.
Y'all already know, man. You can't find me individually any fucking where except on these airways talking to y'all every Friday on this show. This month on the BA show featuring the homie Sean, who guest starred here last week from my place. This month, as I'm sure you guys alluded to the last time I was on this show, we have the Symphony of SummerSlams. Every Wednesday, the month of July, we are rolling out my favorite SummerSlams, along with Sean's favorite SummerSlams, some guest stars popping in, some voices you guys are very familiar with on that show. The most recent release this past Wednesday, we just released the SummerSlam 1996, aka Nightmare on East 9th Street. You're probably wondering why a SummerSlam in 1996 is being compared to a horror movie. You guys must have not watched mid-90s wrestling in WWF, because good Lord, I was like, no way in hell. And you guys can hear all about why I said no way in hell, but there's a lot of great positivity in there, because that was BA's first ever live wrestling event right in his backyard of Cleveland, Ohio. So a lot of fun stories, a lot of like, you'll understand why I am the way I am if you listen to this episode, because there's a lot of just stories from that event. And then listening to Sean try to talk about some very, very hard to grasp wrestling if you weren't there is always fun to listen to. So those places you can always find me. You already know, at Let Me Book Pod, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, letmebookpod.com.
When you see the Twitter talking crazy, it's always BA.
Always. No. And guys, this is E-Ray, the quasi bad guy, the American Cream, Brody Loads. You can find me at E_RAY_the bad guy on the Instagram, E_RAY, the hipster on the Twitters. I do also believe that I am a baddie now, so I do have all my links, link in bio. Go buy you a shirt, Bench Flicks and Chill merch, as BA is wearing right now. This is an audio format, but just close your eyes and envision BA doing a jig in a shirt.
For $8 a month, that jig will be in your inbox.
Oh, jeez.
Under E-Ray's friends links.
I don't like it.
Subscribe to my close friends.
Right, I don't know.
For only $10 a month, you can be one of E-Ray and BA's close friends. For $15, you can get the whole crew. Let me book the territory in Audible Ruckus. And also his friends that's hop in on podcasts, $20 a month.
This is what Patreon.
Imagine it all.
Can you wait for this, Cody Loads?
For the cost of a large pizza special at Domino's, you can have all of us all at once, anytime.
Extra sausage.
Big sausage pizza. Guys,
on another $5, you get a free pass to the Swirl Bros.
Oh man,
one free sample on you.
That's the
guys,
ultimate level.
You can find me also in Audible Ruckus on Saturdays, releasing Saturdays, as well as season 2 of Binge Flicks and Motherfucking Chill with E-Ray. Of course, the most recent episode, Slasher History 101, with my guy BADBIC, giving the people what they want. Of course, we're giving them a great rundown of the history of the slasher genre, and then, you know, up to date how the franchise changed with the Scream series, and then a bit of a review on Scream 6 itself. It is fucking incredible. It's something to behold, to be listened to. And if you ever wanted to hear words like requilogy,
trademark,
we're your guys.
What?
No.
Listen, Dub. Just go listen.
Just go listen to the pod and buy a shirt. Guys, other than that, as Dub likes to say, bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. As BA likes to say, get on your knees, pull them out. And as I like to say,
respectfully.
Right, respectfully, with your permission. Consent is sexy.
Disrespectfully.
And as E-Ray likes to say, G is a choice. Guys, let the madness wash all over you. Everything is wrestling. And tune in next week. We are out of here. Thank you.